But so again, I'm
The
asking you a
same
question.
same principle you're
So
claiming.
Allah, that's actually a threat. Did you know that? Read it the ayah before that. Well, Allah is actually like threatening. It's a metaphoric expression saying that Allah is closer to your jugular vein, meaning that He can actually take you anytime He wants to. It's a threat, bro. So my question again, according to the Hadith, Allah says He comes down. He comes down. He comes down. How does He come down? So what does coming down mean?
That wasn't even first where you reference a different verse. Right? You're talking about,
11:45. 11:45. Sahih
I'm
Bukhari
not talking
11:45.
no, I'm talking about the verse in the Quran. 50:16.
So you're talking about the jugular vein or whatever you're talking
Yeah.
about, that Allah is closer, right? So I'm asking, that's a
That one's
threat, bro.
not
Like
it's
it's not
not
talking about Allah being close. It's a threat expression. Threat, Allah saying that He can take you anytime He wants to. It's a Allah threatening,
where are you getting that idea?
bro. Like read it. Read the verse, the verses before and after it. You will see it. It's a threat, bro. And I want you to answer my question again about the Sahih Bukhari 11:45.
Yeah, I'm using the same sharf of that verse to explain that that's a metaphorical thing and not a physical thing.
Can you address my question about the Sahih Bukhari 11:45,
I
please?
just did.
How does he come
Using
down?
the same sharf of that Quran verse, we understand
So
that the hadith
does
is
it talk
metaphorical.
about does that ayah talk about him coming down to your jugular verses, or is he saying just here?
Well, where's your jugular vein? Is it physical or not?
Does he come down to your jugular vein?
Oh my god.
I'm
Are you
asking you
being
a question. Does
serious?
he come down? I am being serious.
Okay. So
Does he come down to your jugular vein?
your jugular
Does he come
vein,
down to your jugular vein?
your jugular vein is something physical. He doesn't physically come down to your jugular vein. This is something
Bro,
metaphorical to
bro, like again, Allah is talking about His action, Him coming down. So there's an action that's happening that's talking about Him action. That means that He does something. He comes down from. So coming down means He was up somewhere and He comes down. How does He do that? And He's also getting into creation and timeline. How does He do that?
I already told you. I'm not going to repeat it. If you don't understand the difference between something metaphorical and physical, I mean,
So you don't know, right? You don't know, right? How does He do that? What is the
I
kayfiyya?
just
What
told
is
you
the?
something metaphorical.
No, you don't. So see, like you run to the mystery, bro.
How about this? I have a question then. Are you familiar with the story where Allah appeared to the mountain when Moses asked if he could see Allah?
Yeah, in Surah Taha.
Yeah, in verse 143. And so Moses says, "Let me see you." And Allah says, if this mountain stands, he's going to show himself to the mountain. And if the mountain can stand, then you can see me. But if it can't stand, then you cannot see me. And then it says, then the Lord appeared to the mountain and it crumbled. Now, how would you interpret that? Because that seems to be really, and Moses fainted as a result. So this can't be metaphorical, right? Because it's actually happening in real time and has a cause and effect.
Okay. I'm not sure of the sharf of that verse in particular. You'd have to like ask the scholars or whatever about that. I'm not too knowledgeable about that. I won't make the claim that I am.
Fair enough.
But if I were to, actually, I wouldn't even. No, there's no point in me answering. I don't have enough knowledge.
Yes. So if we go to, you are Sunni, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you go into Ibn Kathir's tafsir, he quotes Ibn Abbas, who says that when it says that the Lord appeared to the mountain, that Allah showed an extent of His little finger. Oh yeah, of his pinky finger. So that's it sounds like what you're saying, sharf. That would be that's the understanding
It's
of that.
not the same thing. The tafsir and the sharf are not the same thing.
Okay. What does sharf mean? I keep hearing you say that. What is that?
Explanation. It's
Okay.
like a tafsir as well. So
No,
sharf
no,
is
yeah.
usually
Not
more like
necessarily.
used for the. No, I know that's what generally means, and usually they use the instead of like tafsir, it's used mostly for the hadith, or the sharh of the verse or
No,
whatever.
that's not what it is. That's not what it is. The sharf is
Okay.
normally talking about what a word means in a certain context.
Okay.
The sharh means explanation. Go ahead. Yeah.
No worries, guys. No worries. It's okay. The point is that the understanding from Ibn Abbas was that Allah showed a little bit of his little finger, and which caused
Yeah,
the
I
mountain
already
to
said
crumble.
I'm not knowledgeable about it. I won't argue something that I'm not knowledgeable about.
I feel that. So, in light of that, let's say Abu Amir, how would you take this argument now, since we, as opposed to having a metaphorical understanding of Allah descending to the lowest heaven, where we actually have a literal appearing in creation in time with an even effect causing the mountain to crumble, Moses fainting. How would you take this further, Abu Amir?
Yeah, but
Yeah. So
okay.
I would take it as.
First, you need to establish there's also understandings of that verse as well. Just because you read the
He
tafsir.
he just gave you the Ibn Abbas explanation, right?
Yeah, but okay. First of all, I haven't even read the tafsir, so you'd have to give me the tafsir first as your evidence. And then second of all, I already said that I'm not knowledgeable about it, so you'd have to talk about to a scholar about the explanation of that hadith.
Bring your scholar, Bob. Bring your scholar then. Who's your scholar?
There's many scholars. I'm not a scholar.
No, Bob. It's okay.
I don't have what's it called, communication with every scholar either.
No, but the point is this. The point is because you can literally just look up Ibn Kathir's tafsir on this right now, and you can read it.
What's that?
It's chapter 7, verse 143, and he gives a few verses. Because sometimes he does commentary on a few verses at a time. So you want to go to the relevant part to when he quotes, "The Lord appeared to the mountain," and when the Lord appeared to the mountain. That's what you want to skip down to that relevant part. He even quotes Jami al-Tirmidhi, a Sahih hadith, where Muhammad explains it as well. When they asked him how did he do this, and Muhammad, shows his finger, and it says like this, by showing his finger. That's how they describe it. But yeah, it's chapter 7, verse 143 of Ibn Kathir.
Why you looking up? The GodLogic asked me a question. How would you take up on that argument, right, Bob?
But
so
also.
you cannot argue against our argument when we say that God became flesh and dwelt like the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. If Allah could do the same, that means that if you argue against that, you'd be hypocritical. And I have like other sources as well where actually Muhammad says that
I'm arguing
he
against the
felt
physicality of it. That's something physical in Christianity.
Beautiful. Read that tafsir and see how the finger of Allah crumbled the
I already said you can read you can ask a scholar about that, because there's understandings of hadiths as well. It's not just, I can bring a hadith in isolation and this is what it means.
No, we are not bringing in isolation. We already give you the reference, right? Ibn Abbas believes that...
You brought a hadith, 1145, in isolation.
No, bro.
Yes, you did.
Are you gonna... Hold on. So, Bob, do you believe that Allah didn't, when he showed his finger, according to Ibn Abbas, that's a lie?
I never said that.
So how do you explain that? No, Bob, it's okay. You didn't say that. That's right. That's why I'm asking. Yeah. I want to confirm it. That when physical finger of Allah, was shown to to
Wait,
Moses,
why are you making that claim? Why are you making that claim as a physical finger?
Because that's what Ibn Abbas says.
Where does he say that?
Open tafsir Ibn Kathir. Open Ibn Kathir and read it for us, please. Okay. Can you open the Ibn Kathir and see how did the mountain crumble then? Crumble pieces into
It
pieces.
never mentions a physical finger, if that's what you're saying.
Can you open it to read it for us?
I don't see why you guys are trying to like press me into arguing something I'm not knowledgeable about. But I'm saying it's not a physical thing.
We're not. We're trying to show. We're not trying to. You don't have to give an answer on this. We just want you to see.
I already said that.
Look. Just listen. That's not what we're doing, bro. We just want you to see how, if you're going to argue against the incarnation of Christ, then you would have to drop Islam and have problems with Islam, because Allah comes into creation and does these type of things, you know? So that's the whole point. You don't have to like argue against us or give an answer. That's just what we're showing you. That's all.
Okay, I've just read the tafsir now. It's not talking about pinky. I don't know where you got pinky from, but it says only the extent of the
That was my comment, bro. Like I was saying pinky, but it says the little finger of Allah.
Yeah, only the extent of the little finger appeared to him. So this can also be something metaphorical.
No, it can't.
Yes, it can. When it says only the extent, is something could be something metaphorical.
Yeah, an extent means a part of, some proportion. A proportion of his little finger was shown, bro.
Only the
specific.
Of the little finger appeared from him.
Yeah, so not all of him appeared. He didn't show all of himself. He showed just
this
his
could
little
also be
finger.
something metaphorical as well. For example,
no, it's not though. Stop it.
Why is it not? What's your proof for that? You can't just say no.
What's your proof that it's metaphorical? That's what you have to do. When he gives you a specific description of how Allah appeared, and you're saying, "Oh well, that it doesn't actually mean what he says. It could be metaphorical." That you gotta provide that, not us. That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make 2 points upon that. First of all, then you'd have to look at the Aqidah, and then second of all, I said I'm already not knowledgeable about this. You can ask a scholar about this.
So then, why would you suggest
I'm saying it based on the
Why would you
Aqidah.
suggest metaphor when you don't know? Okay, based on Aqidah. Let's go based on Aqidah. Do you follow? What Aqidah do you follow?
Athari.
Athari. So you don't believe that Allah has actual hands, a shin, face. You don't believe that He actually has these attributes, just that they are not like ours?
No, we affirm what is mentioned in the Quran, but we don't try to make it something physical.
No, so that's not what I'm saying. If you make it physical.
Yeah.
Nobody
says physical, yeah.
Yeah, nobody's saying that. Do you believe that Allah actually has hands, just that you don't know how to describe His hands?
It's
you don't give kayfiyah.
It's not a matter of description or anything like that. We just affirm what the Quran has said upon it.
So let me just ask this. Do you believe Allah has hands, bro?
Yeah.
Are His hands metaphorical or are they literal?
That's what I'm saying. There's no reason to describe it.
I'm not asking you to describe it. I'm asking, in what sense does He have hands? Are they metaphorical or are they literal?
I don't. We just reaffirm the verse. We don't go into anything like that. There's no need for that. Okay, so then you actually believe that Allah actually has hands. In whatever way He has hands, you don't know, but you just know He has hands. Right? Yeah.
Okay, so it's not metaphorical. You just don't.
Why are you making the claim that it's not metaphorical?
Because you believe He actually has hands. When something is actual, it's not metaphorical. A metaphor is something that is not actual. Something that is, kind of a simile, figure of speech type of stuff. But you don't believe that Allah has hands as a figure of speech. You affirm that He actually has hands like the Quran says.
Yes, but it's not necessarily metaphorical or not metaphorical. It can be something else as well.
Well, no, it's either or. It's either it's a figure of speech or it's actual.
No, because for example, the mercy of Allah.
Say no, bro. Like, don't say no. Like, you already said that. You know, it's not meta. You cannot say it's metaphorical, or you cannot say it's literal.
Yeah, and
But he actually has hands. If you deny that, that means that you are denying
I'm explaining the third option.
All right, what's the third option between, what's the middleman of whether Allah actually has hands or whether he figuratively, metaphorically has hands? What's the middle person? What's the middle realm?
Because, for example, we have aspects like the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? You don't say it's either metaphorical or physical. It's something.
No, but I didn't say I did not say physical, bro. I didn't say that Allah has physical. I'm not saying that he has it. If he has actual hands, it doesn't mean that it's physical.
Metaphorical or not metaphorical? Is that what you're asking?
So I'm yes, but I want you to understand that even if you say that he actually has hands, it doesn't necessarily mean that the hands are physical. You know what I'm saying? He could have a spiritual, or immaterial corporeal form.
Say that again?
I don't even know if that's possible, actually, what I just said. I don't even make sense.
about it. Man.
Nah, it actually is. It's either literal or he either has physical hands or not. Huh?
Oh my goodness!
I tried, man. I know. I stand corrected. I didn't even sound right 2 seconds after it came out of my mouth. Yeah, you're right, man. It's either it's either metaphorical or it's or he actually physically has hands, man. So which one is it?
No, that's not the case.
So which one is it?
It's not either metaphorical or physical, and I can explain that through your doctrine as well.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can, because there's also in the. I'm not sure if you're Catholic, Protestant, or whatever, but according to the Catholic doctrine, there's also metaphysical things.
So are metaphysical things physical, bro?
Bro, are you serious, Bob?
What?
What does metaphysics mean?
Well, you're saying everything metaphysical is physical. In every aspect.
Literally.
So what does metaphysics? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, yeah. Well, yeah. Go ahead, bro. What does metaphysical mean, Bob? It's Bob Logic.
Shubuhat, GodLogic.
Conceptual schemes that underlie human thought and experience.
Say that again.
Conceptual schemes that underlie human thought and experience.
All right. Conceptual. So are concepts physical or are they, metaphysical? Are they beyond the physical?
What? Do you want to rephrase that question again?
When you say conceptual themes or schemes, right, that are part of human reality or whatever, conceptual concepts.
Yeah, it's something that's able to be comprehended.
Right. But are concepts physical?
Are concepts physical?
Yes.
Not necessarily.
Very good. So it really is not even necessary. Not necessary. It's no, they're not. You cannot put them in a tube. You cannot measure them. You know what I'm saying?
Concepts can also be physical, then.
Okay, how? Give me an example of a physical concept.
Okay, the concept of space, of light.
The concept of space or light, is okay. Is the concept of space itself?
No, but the concept of space is also something physical.
Wait, how? Come on, man. How? The concept of space is not space itself. So space is physical. What is the concept?
Is the concept of space metaphorical then?
It's not metaphorical, it's metaphysical. It's beyond the physical, bro.
So it's not either physical or metaphorical.
Okay, so your whole point, Bob, was trying to
Yeah.
show how something can be
Of all three of
something
those.
something cannot be something doesn't have to be metaphorical or figurative, but it also doesn't mean that it's literal, physical, right?
Yeah.
So when you talk about Allah's hands, what are hands?
Hands in what way? Because hands can also be both.
Hands can also be what?
Hands can also be both.
What are hands? When you
Are
say
you
Allah
talking? Are
actually
you talking
has
about the
hands,
human hands? If you're talking about human hands, yes, there's something physical.
when Allah actually has hands, what are they? What are
Yeah, as
hands?
I just mentioned before, it doesn't have to be something physical.
But what are hands? You're not answering the question, bro. What are hands?
What do you mean? What are hands? They're limbs. They're
Very good. They're limbs. We'll go with that. They're limbs, right?
okay.
Usually 5-digit limbs. So does
Yeah, you can
Allah
also have
does
you
all
can
does,
also have a metaphor of hands. You can have a metaphysical hand.
okay? So when Allah
Metaphysical
has
lady.
when the Quran says Allah has hands, is it metaphorical or is it actual?
But as I just mentioned, it can also be another alternative, metaphysical.
So by saying,
Hands.
oh
We are
my
not talking
goodness,
about something else.
hands are physical. They're not
Yeah,
metaphysical.
hands don't have to be physical.
Okay, can you give me an example of a hand that is not physical? An actual hand that is not physical.
Okay, I handed out gifts or something like that.
Did you?
Okay,
So,
maybe
that was a physical example.
bad
Thank you.
example. Bad example. I don't know, like the hand of God. You're saying that's something physical?
Is it? And because when you say
No, a
the
hand
hand
of
of
God.
God,
also
you
be
believe
something
he actually has a hand. You believe that there is actually a hand of God.
yeah, we affirm that he has hands. We don't say that it's any of the three. Or
I know.
for example,
See,
we don't
go ahead.
categorize it to be physical, metaphorical, or metaphysical.
On the metaphysical earlier.
Yeah, I was saying there's alternatives to not because he said it's either physical or it's metaphorical, but that's not true. There's also alternatives to that.
So again, the question is Allah's hands physical or metaphorical?
Yeah, and with that question, it confirms bias because you're saying it's either one or the other. When I'm saying there's also alternatives.
What is the alternatives?
I just named you an example of an alternative, metaphysical.
Which is metaphysical, we said, right? So does that mean that Allah's hands metaphorical then?
I'm not sure of what the understanding of it is in
So
Ash'ari Aqeedah.
there's some. So okay, there's
I
something
also
that's
mentioned before that I'm not a scholar in that case. No, you can go and ask a scholar of which one is it talking about, metaphysical, metaphorical, or physical.
so
I
okay.
also
So if
affirm
it's
that
not
I'm not a scholar
physical,
in this.
so obviously, so you're trying to say it's metaphysical.
I'm
which
saying
means
your
not,
question is limited
material.
and it has bias inside of it,
No,
right?
try to understand what I'm trying to say, Bob. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is Allah's hand. When I ask the question, is Allah's hand physical or metaphorical? You're saying metaphysical, right? So does that
No, I didn't
when
say
you
it was
say
metaphysical. I said there's alternatives to the question.
okay, what are they?
Do you really want me to name another alternative, or what is it? You can't get over the fact
give
that
me.
there's
So you
more.
already so we're asking you a question. You are not answering. That's what we're trying to say. We're trying to understand Allah's hands. You cannot say it's metaphorical, right?
Yeah, I said I don't know.
Could you at least give me like a negative on that? Would you say Allah's hands metaphorical?
I don't affirm whether it's a physical thing or a metaphorical thing or a metaphysical thing or other alternatives. You can ask a scholar about that. Okay? I'm just saying that your question has bias and it doesn't take into account other alternatives.
But Allah has hands, right? But Allah actually has in actuality. Yeah, he has hands in actuality, right?
Actuality and physical aren't the same thing, if that's what you're trying to
No, they are not. No, they are not.
Okay,
like
great.
I'm talking about in reality. In reality. No, I'm not. When I say reality, I'm not talking about the physical reality. I'm just talking about the Allah, like when he talks in the Quran. He's talking about
Yes,
he
it's
actually
truth.
has hands,
The
right?
truth is, yeah, he has hands. Yes, correct.
Okay, that's what we're
That's
saying.
something we
So,
affirm, and to get a further
so when
understanding of this, you
so
can ask a
now
scholar.
now you try to understand my question again. When we
I understood
say,
it from the
can
first
you
one.
negate metaphorical? So if you say metaphorical, that would mean that those are actually not hands. Do you understand?
No, that's not the case.
It is the
If you
case.
assume something,
So what is a
no, it's not. If
metaphorical?
you
What is a
assume,
metaphorical?
okay,
What is
let me explain
metaphorical?
it to you. Let me explain it to you.
Mhm.
If you say something is metaphorical, that can also be a reality, not in the reality of a physical sense, but a reality of it being a truthful metaphor. It doesn't have to be a lie.
Okay, give me example.
There's
So
many examples. I'm not
metaphorically,
going to give
so
you an
with the
example of
hands,
a metaphor.
Bob, when Allah says He has hands, and you say, like, let's say you say metaphorically. Let's just give you the first argument, okay?
I don't
Like
affirm that it's
let's just.
metaphorical
I
though.
know,
But there's no,
If you
there's no,
negate it,
there's no reason.
no, Bob, try to
There's no
understand.
reason
If
to go
you
into which one would mean which one. There's no point of that. We just
okay,
affirm that he has hands, and then you can go and ask a scholar for further information of which one it would be, metaphysical, physical, or etc.
so you don't confirm none of that, and you don't know, right? You're just what
We
you're trying
confirm
to
that
say,
he has hands, and then whether you
but you
want to
don't know what
learn,
it is. Well, you don't know what it is and how.
I personally don't, but you can ask scholars or other people of knowledge of what it would mean.
Okay.
Okay?
Does he
Great.
have a shin?
Oh my god. You're gonna what again? Then ask me.
Does he have a shin?
Okay, is this shit metaphysical? Is it physical or is it metaphorical?
No,
That's
no,
what
no.
I'm asking.
Can you answer, Bob?
Okay,
Can you
what's
answer?
the benefit to your question? What's the benefit
Can
to your
you
question?
confirm
the
that he?
benefit
I'm
to
not
your
asking.
question?
We're
See,
just trying
Bob,
to understand.
Bob. I'm not asking you to confirm like I didn't even put your condition, right? The only thing I asked is, does Allah have a shin?
Okay, and what is the benefit to your question? What are you gonna answer? What are you gonna
Can you
ask
answer my
after?
question? Can you answer my question?
What's the benefit to the answer? What's the benefit to the question? Furthermore,
Can you answer my question?
what is the benefit to the question? You don't answer questions for no reason, do you? If I'm asking what,
And then
what is the
I will
Trinity?
follow, and then
If I'm asking
I'll
what is the
explain
Trinity,
why I'm asking this question. No, Habibi. The reason I'm asking is so I can build you up on that, just to see where you are. Okay. So does Allah have a shin?
Okay, yes, we affirm he has a shin. What's your what's
Beautiful,
the follow?
beautiful. If I show
Yeah, what's
to
the
you,
point?
that that shin is actually, like could be seen as a form, what would you say? In
What do you mean?
space and time also. In space and time also.
Oh, you'd have to bring an
But
evidence for that.
no. Would that be an argument? Would that be a problem for you as a Muslim?
If he has a shin within space and time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we believe he's outside of space and time and existence in that case. Yeah.
No. Like I didn't say outside of space and time. I said in created space and time.
Yeah, his shin isn't created.
So okay, no, but he could take a form, right? Because if I say physical,
Taking
you
a
gotta say, oh,
form
it's
and
not
creation
physical.
is not the same thing.
If I say metaphorical, you say, oh, it's not metaphorical. We already conquered that. We already
This is
agreed
what I'm
on it.
saying.
Okay?
There's no benefit to your questions.
No, bro. Oh my
Unless
goodness.
you have
So Allah
evidence. Unless you have
I do.
evidence.
That's what I'm trying to ask you. That's why I'm
Okay,
trying to
so
ask you.
bring your evidence then. Bring your evidence that
Okay.
there's something within space and time which is attributed to God.
Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Beautiful. Let me.
I feel like that was already done, but okay.
Well,
How is
no,
it
he
done?
wants to. He's not. Yeah, already done. But I want to show him more.
How is it already done? You just brought up another thing.
We literally showed you that Allah appeared to the mountain with his little finger. We literally showed you that Allah comes.
Yeah, and
at
you
the-
didn't
descends
show me
every-
any evidence.
every third of the night.
Wait, don't make that claim though, because you didn't show any evidence for it to be physical, metaphysical, or
We literally showed you that
metaphorical.
he appeared to the mountain and caused it to crumble. And Ibn Abbas said he showed his little finger.
That still doesn't.
Don't say that we
still
didn't show
doesn't-
any evidence. Just say that you don't know how to deal with that evidence.
No, that still doesn't show. Still doesn't show that it's a physical attribute.
You're saying na'an is not an answer.
What are you saying? I'm saying that with that evidence or that hadith, it still doesn't show it to be physical.
Again, saying nuh-uh is not an answer.
It's not a nuh-uh. I'm telling you the alternatives.
Okay, so I want you to open Sahih Bukhari 6573. It's a long hadith, but you know, there's a shortened one. I think GodLogic may bring it up, but I want to show you something. Do you know this hadith? Have you read it before? If you say you didn't, we can go through it, but you know,
No,
because
I
that's a
haven't read,
famous hadith. Have you read it before?
no, I haven't read it before.
Okay, let me read it for you. I want you to pay attention, okay? It says this, narrated Abu Huraira. There is a reason why I'm bringing the longer version, and I'll explain to you. Some people said, oh, Allah,
6316.
6573, 6573.
65 cents. Okay.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Don't leave, because I need to do something quickly, and then it'll take 5 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. All right. So I'm gonna read it for you. Narrated Abu Huraira. Some people said, Allah's messenger. This is talking about the companions. Okay. Some people. Allah's messenger. Shall we see our Lord on the day of resurrection? He said, Do you crowd and squeeze each other on looking at the sun when it's not hidden by the clouds? Talking about the physical things, right? They replied, No, Allah's messenger. He said, Do you crowd and squeeze each other on looking at the moon when it's full and not hidden by clouds? They replied, No, Allah's messenger. He said, So you will see him, your Lord, on the day of resurrection. Similarly, Allah will gather all the people and say, Whoever used to worship anything should follow that thing. So he who used to worship the sun will follow it, and who used to worship the moon will follow it, and who used to worship false deities will follow them, and then only this nation, the Muslims, will remain, including the hypocrites, right? Munafiqun. Allah will come to them in so pay attention. Allah will come to them in a shape other than they know, and will say, I am your Lord. They will say, we seek refuge with Allah from you. So Allah does come in a shape.
This is on the day of resurrection.
First
It's
question.
different.
Yeah, but Allah has a shape, right? So
It's
when
different.
in heaven, when they're gathered in heaven,
Yeah,
how
it's
is it different, bro?
because it's not limited to our understanding of the world currently.
So you mean like so it's not created? The heaven is not created?
It doesn't even mention the heaven. I don't know what you're on about the heaven.
Okay, give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Why you want to see my forehead, Che? Damn, I ain't spoken forever. Oh yeah, when I do this, that means I'm telling y'all to like the live. Like the live. I love y'all. What does the topic say? It says prove Islam is the truth. They've been debating for the last like 35, 40 minutes. I might bring new people or
Wait, I wanted to prove that in the first place, but I kept getting interrupted, and then this topic. I just wanted to prove it in the first place, but hey, if you guys don't want to hear it, I can't tell you, can I?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. There was a comment that just had me weak. I ain't gonna lie. There was a comment that had me weak. I couldn't keep my composure. I was being silent, just chilling. But there was a comment, bruh. That comment had me weak. Appreciate the rose. God bless you. What comment? Somebody. No, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even the flexing one. It was the one before that. Somebody said, bro, Mog in the chat. That had me weak. He said he Mog in the chat. I was like, oh. Hey, the flexing one was funny too. But no, I'm just mad hot. It's so hot in my room right now. I was sweating. I had to get my beater. So that's why I'm still hot. I just can't completely take my shirt off, so I'm wearing a beater right now. Appreciate the shares, appreciate the follows, appreciate the likes, appreciate everyone who's been in here this whole time. I love you guys. I love everybody, truthfully. It's just friendly debates going on right now. No hate. No hate. Even if you're Muslim, Christian, whatever, no hate. There's no hate. And as a Muslim, there should be no hate. As Christians, there's no hate. It's just debates. That's all it is. There's no hate.
Bro, I ain't gonna hold you. If this guy keeps taking his time, I might just go, bro. I got things to do as well.
All right, man. If that's what you're gonna do, if you're gonna go,
I'll give him like an extra minute, but hey, if he's taking this long.
I mean, it was nice having you. Obviously, you know. You ain't sleep at all. You right. I'm about to go to sleep. I woke up at like 4 p.m. yesterday. I'm about to go to bed. Low key, not low key, high key. Or I don't know. I'm not even tired for real. I might stay on here. Appreciate everyone who shared it live. Everyone who's liking the live. If you can, just like it up. Tap that screen. Go crazy on the screen. Tap that screen. You don't have AC? No, not right now. I ain't gonna hold you. I got fans in my room. It's hot. It's hot. Appreciate the follow, Victoria. God bless you. What's up, Shay? And obviously, at the end of the day, people are going to believe what they're going to believe. Even if we debate, at the end of the day, you believe what you believe. You believe what you believe. You have the right to believe whatever you want to believe. We all have free will. We can't change that. Nobody can force anybody. Appreciate the gift. God bless you. Thank you for the heart.
Wait, Brennan.
What's up, man?
Were you always a Christian, like born Christian?
You said what?
Were you born a Christian?
Was I born a Christian?
Yeah.
Truthfully, I mean, Catholics are Christian. I was baptized as a baby. I was raised like my mother was Catholic. My grandfather was Catholic. You know what I'm saying? They were Catholics.
Yeah.
My mother, they had me baptized as a baby. She turned away from God. She didn't really believe anymore. She turned away from that. I went to church until I was about 7 years old. I stopped going to church. And after the passing of my grandmother, I was mad at everything. I was agnostic at that point. I didn't really believe. I didn't know. I didn't consider myself Christian. You know what I'm saying? At a point in time, I completely denied God. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the best person. Like I said, I wasn't the greatest person. I wasn't the best person. I hurt a lot of people. I made a lot of mistakes in my life. But, you know, everything happens for a reason. Every decision we make, everything that happens to us is for a reason. It's a part of God's plan. Everything that happens to you was meant to happen. Okay? Everything that you did, you were meant to do.
But, like, so if you didn't have a bias, right? Which one sounds more...
I mean, look.
No. I'm not saying you are biased, but if you didn't have...
I had Muslim friends. I've thought about the Quran, but it's never really drawn me in like that. You know what I'm saying? It's never really drawn me in like that. I've always believed, you know.
Is it not more logical that there's one God instead of 1 in 3 or 3 in 1?
To me personally, the Bible makes a lot of sense. The Bible makes a lot of sense to me.
If you just look at the doctrines alone, would it not make more sense that it's one God instead of 1 in 3 or 3 in 1?
I mean, but it's still just God. It's just God. A lot of people, it's hard for a lot of people to understand. It's hard for a lot of people to comprehend.
We literally were just asking you about your God, and you couldn't even tell us if he had hands or not. Don't try to say
That he
one.
does have hands.
Don't even
Don't
try
twist
to.
my words.
Don't even try to insinuate that is the concept of God in Islam is easier to understand or simpler than the
Of
concept
course,
of God in
one
Christianity.
God is way more logical.
Don't try it. Do not try it, bro.
You tried to twist my words and you failed. You tried to say that
I'm not twisting your words. You tried to
Yeah, you tried.
insinuate just
You tried
now.
to.
I'm
You tried
listening,
to.
bro. You just tried to
Let me
insinuate
tell you.
that
You tried to
Islam.
affirm.
You said, wouldn't it be more simpler that God and God is just one God versus just one and three and one? You tried to insinuate that the concept of the Islamic God is simpler and easier to understand when you
Yes, it
can't answer
is.
a simple question.
You're talking about something completely different. The
No,
oneness
I'm
of
not.
God and the attributes of God are very different. Those are two completely different topics, and they can obviously have different levels of knowledge needed to answer them. Like
No.
what?
No.
Yeah.
So okay, so good. So then both you and I have the concept that there is one God. We both have that. We both have that theology that there's one God. Now, when we both go into the details of that, that's when things get a little, a little friskier.
Yeah. But we're not talking about the attributes of the Father. You're saying the Trinity, which is very different, correct? The attributes of the Father in your doctrine may be quite simple. He's eternal, he's all powerful, he's all loving, or whatever. All right? That's something simple. When you go into the Trinity, it becomes more complicated. You need more knowledge to answer the questions based on the Trinity. So when when the bases are different, one being the oneness of God and one being the attributes of the Father, these are very different things.
No. So
Yes.
I can do the same. When you talk about Allah being one God, that's very simple to understand.
Yeah.
But then when you start going into the attributes of Allah or what his nature is, his makeup, then you need a little bit more knowledge to explain certain things, and things get a lot more difficult. See how we can do the same thing?
Not necessarily, no, because you're going into Aqidah, the belief.
That's what Trinity is. The Trinity deals with Aqidah.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the attributes.
That's dealing with Aqidah. All of that. Even the simple fact that there's one God, that's Aqidah. All of it is Aqidah.
And even then, it's still a lot more simple and more logical.
No, it's not. You like I said,
It's
dealing with your Aqidah,
3 and 1 and
even
1
answer-
and 3 is very
dealing
different
with-
to affirming
Dealing
that
with
he is
Aqidah, bro. Dealing with Aqidah, you couldn't answer a super simple question. You couldn't.
I
Something
answered.
simple.
I said he does have hands. And then
You couldn't even because you can't even tell us what that means. When you say he does have hands, what do you mean by that? Is it metaphorical? Is it metaphysical? Is it physical? You said I don't affirm.
Yeah, because you're going into further detail, are you not? You are.
So we're asking about your belief.
Listen.
That's crazy.
I affirmed that he has hands, okay? And then you decided, oh, okay, what does this mean? Is this physical, metaphysical, whatever? And I said that's a matter of Aqidah, which I'm not completely knowledgeable, and I don't want to make something. I don't want to say something that is heresy, right?
So when you say, okay,
very different.
when you saying I affirm that Allah has hands, those words that are coming out of your mouth are similar or equivalent to blah 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 blah, because you don't even know what you're saying when you say that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's difficult for you to answer.
That's not the same thing as the explanation of the Trinity. That's very different.
Yeah, it's worse, actually. Because we actually have answers for the Trinity. You don't have answers for even the smallest of attributes.
I'm saying me personally. You can ask a scholar if you want.
Yeah, talking to even more knowledgeable people than you.
You're saying
They do
that
the
the
same
average
problem.
Christian would be able to answer every question about the Trinity. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, what I'm saying is that the Trinity as a whole versus Tawheed is.
Yeah, you can explain Tawheed as well. I just can't personally explain the question.
Far more is far more answerable and far more easier to deal with than Tawheed. Tawheed is just it's.
You don't even believe that yourself. You're saying that the oneness of God is harder to explain than.
Tawheed doesn't even mean oneness, bro.
Tawheed does mean oneness.
No, it means unity.
No, it doesn't. It means one.
It's the unity of Allah, man.
Appreciate the follow, Jay. God bless you.
It's unifying all those things that make your God what he is. That's what Tawheed is, bro.
Tawheed, oneness of God. It's a concept of monotheism in Islam.
Where are you on Wikipedia?
Yeah, Wikipedia.
Appreciate the gift, Jay. God bless you.
I just said that to say this, bro. If you want to talk about Tawheed versus Tawheed versus Trinity, you have no answers for Tawheed. And I don't mean you particularly. I mean Islam. You guys,
Yeah, Islam does have answers. You can just search it up or even ask a scholar if you're really that confused.
dude, I do that. You know that I do that.
Who are you? I don't even know who you are. What do you mean I know you do that?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
What? Are you like a big debater or something like that?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
So who have you asked? Big scholar.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I talk to people, a few sheikhs in my life.
Sheikhs? What sheikhs?
Like Uthman, this other sheikh on Ali Dawa's channel. You know who Ali Dawa is?
Yeah, he's not a sheikh.
I know. He sits with a sheikh. Like, so when he goes live, he has a sheikh live with him. I don't know his name, but he's kind of a heavyset guy. Well, that's kind of general. You would have to go on his channel and see him. Sometimes he's at Speaker's Corner a lot too.
Is your name GodLogic?
That's the profile name.
What's
So
up,
what's GodLogic versus who? Uthman. I'm seeing GodLogic get schooled.
Oh yeah, you're gonna see that all the time on Muslim channels.
GodLogic versus Uthman. Hamza.
You know me, bro. Nah, not talking to y'all. I'm talking in the comments. Why y'all hating on me, bro? I can't throw up hearts. Stop playing with me. Appreciate the gift, love y'all. Bless y'all.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily consider Uthman a sheikh. He has a fair amount of knowledge.
Oh, well, they say he's a sheikh, so you know.
Appreciate the
Sheikh
gift.
is anyone can be a sheikh. Sheikh is just someone of age or maturity.
Okay.
But you have to ask an alim, ultimately, someone of knowledge.
Tap the screen.
Who would that be? Like, where would I go to do that?
Take the roses.
English, right? You don't understand Arabic, or
Correct.
English? You can ask
Live. How you accidentally like the live? You been here.
Uthman al-Khamis. There's some other ones as well. He's really good. Uthman al-Khamis.
Who?
Uthman al-Khamis.
Uthman Ali Khamis.
Okay, Che. I wouldn't do that. I'm not like that. I wouldn't say to do that. I just want people to like the live. You sitting here watching, like the live.
Sheikh al-Albani had some good lectures, but it might not answer your question directly, but some of his lectures were translated in English.
Okay.
He's no longer alive, but yeah.
Yeah, I know who he is.
And there is several Bob, you are hilarious. Are you a big debater? No, I'm not a big debater. I don't even do debates. I just wanted to answer the question of prove Islam is the truth, and then got interrupted several times. And then topics changed, and then yeah.
So, do you believe that Tawheed is simple, or do you believe that Tawheed is complex?
No, it's not something complicated. Even Aqidah is not complicated as well. You just I mean, there's several books upon it. I'm just not completely knowledgeable about every question that you're going to ask. I'm not, I'm not an alim.
Okay. Well, I believe that Tawheed is very complex.
It's not one God. How can that be complex?
Because that's not all it is. It's the things that make up your one God.
That's what Tawheed is. Tawheed is the oneness of God. And then when you want to go into the
When you say oneness, when you say oneness, what does that mean, bro?
that it's one God, one all-powerful being, one eternal being, one etc.
Right. And so this one God is unique from everything. He's the only one with these certain attributes, right? These divine titles, names, lordship, worship, all this kind of stuff, correct? That's what Tawheed basically is, right?
Tawheed in essence is just the oneness of God. And then when you go into further things, this could be considered Aqidah.
But it's not. The Tawheed in its essence is the unification of Allah, not his oneness.
It's not unification, it's oneness. I just brought you the definition before.
It is unification. Go to 35.5, 38.5. I'm sorry. It is unification.
Mm-hmm.
What? How about the other point you were bringing? If you're back.
No. We're talking about Tawheed, right? As far as I understand, GodLogic brought up about the Tawheed.
Mm-hmm.
So, 38.5, open Surah As-Sad 5, and read it for us.
Tay, how do you keep ending up back here? You don't even follow me, Tay. How do you keep ending up back in here?
Whoever seeks... It's Ali Imran.
You're on my For You page. You just come in here to chill. Stalking you? I'm not stalking you. You the one in my live.
Has he reduced all the gods to one God? Indeed, this is something truly
That is true
totally
Tawheed, bro.
astonishing.
That is true Tawheed. You know why? Because you want it or not, you
Has
have
he
to
reduced
unify.
all the gods
You
to
have,
one God?
yeah, you have to unify God,
It's
Allah,
not
into
unification.
one.
It's